Big up, guys. Big up, guys. Apologies for this being delayed, and it was supposed to have been yesterday, and obviously other things turned up. I couldn't do it, but obviously today, I was going to do it Thursday or Friday originally, but I thought I'd maybe do it Wednesday earlier in case I've got to do the preview for the Bournemouth and Brentford match, obviously, which won't be long. Probably tomorrow or Friday if I can get something sorted out. So it is. What am I talking about? It's Thursday today. What am I talking about? Sorry, tomorrow then will be, or probably, because I've got to try and get the preview for that. Bournemouth and the Bees. Apologies, guys. I'm losing track here. Days are going so quick again as usual, but hopefully I can get the preview sorted at some stage for that. But I really wanted to get this done out, this stream. Obviously the buzz still buzzing. I really wanted to get this one out. There's a lot to talk about, and especially the real bugbear for me at the moment is the football coverage on TV. Absolutely dreadful. I really want to go into that to start with, and then we get on to the rest of it. Hopefully we can get through this fairly quick, though. I've got a couple of guests on. I'll bring, I think my first guest there is ready, Manny. I'll bring him on first. Be up to you, Mr. T. I hope you're well, sir. Apologies for the delay. Hope you're well.
No need to apologise, good souls. Well, and yeah, I mean, this is going to be quite an interesting topic to start with about the issue of footballing coverage because, ironically, you and I remember how it was back in the early 90s and even long before that, how simpler it was and how, the simplicity in and of itself was what made it brilliant. Obviously, when it came to actual live coverage, we didn't have too much of it unless, there were games being played. But whatever we had was pretty good in terms of coverage and analysis. And I think it just goes to show that sometimes maybe when you provide more, maybe you're diluting the quality. But I'm really eager to sort of get to the issues surrounding this and what makes you feel this way about it.
Well, basically, it seems to be more and more the advertising and showing other stuff when the game's going on. You're there to watch a game of football. You're not there to watch the audience, the crowd, to go to the managers even, or, keep advertising what's going on the next day or the next few days or next week or whatever. It's getting worse, Manny. It is getting worse. It's terrible. I want to complain and everything, but the thing is, you're paying you're paying a lot of money for all this. That is the problem as well. And they're just doing it. I think they're doing it for their money. They don't give a shit about the viewers. They don't give a toss about any of us that are watching it live. They go to whatever they want to go to. They're showing replays when the game's going on. You're almost missing what's happening. It's fucking terrible, and I apologise for the swearing again, but I'm just annoyed about it, mate. It's terrible now. You're paying loads of money for this. Sky Sports, TNT, even BBC, ITV, whatever. It's all got worse. Gone are the days where we had all the great commentary, where they just commentated on the game itself and just spoke about it. Great commentators that we had in the past, Barry Davies and David Coleman and Kenneth Wolstenholme, John Motson. The list is endless, mate. And, nowadays it is just advertise and show anything but the blooming game.
I agree. And, don't forget about one of ITV's finest, Brian Moore, Lord rest his soul. I really enjoyed listening to him commentate whenever I could. And obviously, when it came to ITV, there was a reason why I always preferred ITV's coverage of international sport over BBC's. I mean, not that Motson, Davies and company weren't good, far from it. It's just that I felt a lot more connected to the game when I heard Brian Moore, and Tilsley wasn't too bad, but he was definitely no Brian Moore. And I get what you're saying as well. I mean, when I over here where I watch the coverage as well, it's like every now and then you sort of at some point in the game you sort of so suddenly it cuts to a small advertisement snippet of something really to sort of advertise the fact that without our sponsorship you won't get any money, so you better make sure you give us the airtime. But then that's the thing, like you will obviously get your airtime for these commercials and advertisements during a break. Does it have to be every single time? It is rather ridiculous. Now, when it comes to the actual coverage and analysis, and I think I might possibly have to drop off after saying what I want if I can hear you.
Cool. Yeah.
But we'll see how that goes. I think perfect, because I'm just taking a look and seeing if there are any cues here. I think when it comes to analysis, we have a large number of pundits who seem to be willing to try a little bit too hard, and you're bringing in a lot of people who have just finished playing the game, but they haven't exactly really been tactically involved in terms of being a coach or what have you. And some of them just speak because they love the sound of their voice.
Yeah.
Now, back in the old days, I remember when I started watching football, of course, it was obviously Italia 90 was when I really started getting into it. I knew, of course, that on the BBC, we'd have coverage of the FA Cup games that were being played on Grandstand on a Saturday. Iconic football results from the various leagues on a Saturday. And then, of course, on ITV, you also had a Saturday review. But Sunday was, of course, the big game where we had Elton Wellesby, Jim Rosenthal and company coming and talking about it. And they brought us coverage, and they had some really good pundits, and Saint and Greavesy were, top class back in the day. That was the day, of course, where you had a lot of people who were a lot more involved in the game, and maybe there wasn't so much money involved. But I think with the advent of more money, I think we've started to see a bit of I wouldn't say you could say perhaps it's a dilution in the quality. And you end up getting a lot more people who are just not, impartial enough, really. You've got a lot of people who will, either be wholly supportive, or in Roy Keane's case, they'll be completely damning. You don't really have too many pundits who are in the middle, and not enough of them who have really played the game at a higher level. I think that's my observation of it. Now, I should add as a caveat that, since leaving the UK in 1992, I have only come back on holidays, and whenever I've seen coverage on the BBC or ITV, it hasn't been too bad. But obviously, you get a lot of these snippets of, programs like Match of the Day or other coverage on ITV or what have you. And you just get the idea that a lot of these pundits don't really have the level of measuredness. I will say, though, as a caveat, that there were some pundits back in the day who, weren't necessarily politically correct on one or two occasions. And looking back on that now, you sort of you don't really want to see any of those things. But what I will say is that you now have a situation, obviously, where it's gone all the way from BBC and I to these satellite channels, Sky Sports, TNT Sports, and there are going to be some other channels who are going to want to try and get their share and offer a little bit more money. And then you'll end up having so much more, but I think there is a bit of a dilution in quality. And if you were to combine the technological advances of today with the no-nonsense commentary of yesteryear, I think you'd have a better product. The only problem is we just don't seem to be, we seem to have gone down a road, too far down the road to even consider going back to that. And more's the pity, because, I remember how it used to be back in the day, and it was quite good. Now I think people are just trying too hard, and they're also, when you're saturated with so much money and sponsorship, in effect, you pretty much make a deal with the devil. Does that make sense?
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
I will have to drop out.
Yeah,
I'll
sure,
be back,
mate.
Steve.
Yeah, no worries. Cool. Yeah. Apologies, guys. I'm just eating something there. But yeah, as Manny's just said there, yeah, it is kind of that way. But you just want to, you're there to watch football. It's football. The match is there. That says it all. You want to be like you are when you're a supporter there watching the football. You're in the stadium. You're there watching it. You're not getting these adverts and fucking everything else coming up to show you that. You're watching the game itself. The players on the pitch. Okay, you haven't got commentators in your ears telling you who's on the ball, but you got your eyes. You can see them. You've got the names on the shirt, back of the shirt. You know, that's what you want. You just want to watch the fucking match. You're not there to see everything fucking else that's going on. The managers. Why are you watching the fucking manager? When there's football. You know, there's a ball there. They're kicking it about on the pitch. Why the fuck are you watching the manager? Or are you watching the crowd? Things like that. It's fucking disgusting, the coverage. You pay over the odds for this shit. And all you get is this. And the fucking advertising over and over. And some of the pundits are bloody pricks as well. Can't stand them. Like Neville and so forth. They're all shit. They're wankers. And I've got a little article about all them as well. I will go through, but I've also got my other guests to bring on. I will bring Manny back in a little while. But I'll bring Warren on first because I know he hates this as much as I do. He's fucking pissed off about it. Be up to you, buddy. How you doing?
Yeah, not too bad. Had a busy day, as I'm sure you can imagine.
Yeah. Okay. But no, you hate this as much as I do, don't you? All this with the coverage.
Mate, I think it's a fucking shit show. Right? I don't know what it's like, you know, where Manny lives, whether they have the same problem there as what we do here. But from listening to him speak, it probably sounds like it's not quite as bad as what it is here, because it is really fucking bad. Like, especially radio commentary, because the radio commentary, if you're listening to commentary on the radio,
yeah,
for a start, it's not like it used to be. There's no difference between radio commentary and the TV commentary. Now, the two should be, or they were back in the day when I was growing up, they were completely different, right? The radio commentary would be a lot more intense and a lot more detailed in their description about what was going on. But now it's exactly the same as TV. But added to that, you've got these fucking clowns. They're sitting there, these commentators and their sidekicks, talking about stuff which is completely irrelevant to what's going on. And you can't even see the game. That's the thing. With the radio, you can't see anything. So it's impossible to get a picture of how the game is and whether or not who's like in control in the game, because sometimes they'll be talking for about 5-10 minutes, right? And it's got nothing to do with football. I mean, the other day I heard them talking about the US presidential election. They were talking about, that's just completely and utterly irrelevant.
What the fuck's it got to do with it?
Yeah, I know.
Do with that?
And then they'll be sitting there spouting this meaningless bloody statistics, like about one team's XG and another one's FR and all this absolute nonsense. and it needs to stop. And I'm telling you, one of these Saturdays, I'm going to try and get in on 606 and go and really like lambast him about it, because it's got to stop. I'm pretty sure I know what will happen. If I'm lucky enough to get through, I'll have to right from the get-go, I will have to lie about why I want to go on. Right, I'll have to tell them, oh, I want to talk about Arteta, or I want to talk about that challenge day, or on one player but on another one, or a penalty decision, or something like that. And when I get through and I'm talking, yeah, definitely, Delphi, I definitely need it. Like, I am gonna say, right, I want to talk about the way that football is commentated in this country, because it is shocking. It really is.
It is. It is fucking terrible. It's got worse over the years. It's really got worse. And
it has. It's just like, you know, I grew up with the likes of Peter Jones doing the radio commentary, and the man was just elite. Like, these people, these clowns that they have doing it now, haven't got a clue when it comes to like commentary. Put him on, and obviously you can't because he's dead, bless him. But even more recent times, like the guy from the north of Ireland, what was his name?
So Green, was it? Was it Green?
Yeah, Green. That character, he was superb as well. But the problem was he wouldn't like bow down to Alex Ferguson, and he used to frequently call him out and have rucks with him. So he had to be removed. It's just to make the whole thing is a shambles. It is. It's like, it is absolutely awful. And like TV commentary, I just like, mate, I can't bear it. Like when the last World Cup or Euros were on, I had to turn it down. Because it was doing my head in.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh man, he's gone again. But anyway, yeah, it's, I don't know. I just hate it now. It's just fucking just terrible. You're watching the game. You want to watch the football. You don't want to watch fucking the crowd, the managers, or whatever. They ain't footballers,
mate. You know what I think it is? This business about keep going on the managers all the time.
Why?
I think it's to do with Arteta. Right? No, I'm not. I'm serious, man. I'm not joking. I think it's to do with him, because a large proportion of our fan base are more concerned about him and his career than they are the football club.
Well,
it's the obsession, right? So that's why they keep focusing on him. Do you know what I mean? And I'm convinced of it. And I think it's something that's quite common with fans of a younger generation. I don't want to like say it's all of them, but there is a large number of them who are more interested in fans, more interested in like managers and players than they are the actual club that employs them. I just find it bizarre. I just do not understand it. Do you know, like, whether it be Martin Odegaard, whether it be like Darwin Núñez, whether it be, you know, Bruno Fernandes or whatever his bloody name is, or, you know, it's just crazy.
It is. Let's see if Manny's got anything else to add to that. Have you got anything more? Do you agree with that, Manny, as well? What Warren just said?
I think what Warren said there, is absolutely spot on, because it's sort of if you look at a lot of the football coverage these days, a lot of the football news these days, there's a lot of PR, and there seems to be a lot more focus on the managers and certain players lines and for whom this PR is being done than focusing on the actual game itself. Like, look, when I was watching football back in the day, we did have a few snippets of the managers and maybe one or two of the players, but never to the extent that we have now. So Warren definitely has a point. And I don't know if you could also say that in some ways the quality of the football, and I'd like to think it hasn't, because, we have been able to attract a great deal of technically, gifted players to come and play in the Premiership, and they have shown a lot of their skills. But I think maybe it's just a question of how a lot of these broadcasters feel as though instead of having a situation where there might be some dead volume, or you're not talking too much about it, you talk about something either vaguely related to it or otherwise. I agree that these ridiculous XG stats are rather stupid. The time to talk about stats is during the half or at the end of the game, where you have all of these stats about corners being taken. I'd like to think that you wouldn't want to talk about that while you're actually commentating on the game. You focus on the game, you focus on the passage of play and what's going on. And I think we're also seeing a situation where, with a large number of managers being so animated and passionate, it's like it's that level of controversy, that conflict, and that sort of stuff, which keeps people drawn. They have a saying that controversy and conflict sell a great deal more than the actual game in and of itself. And in as much as with in many cases the level of camera work has also improved, close-up action, you still have a situation where stuff is being spoken about. If you want to talk about upcoming games featuring the teams being who are playing, by all means do so, and you can by all means in some cases talk a little bit about the some, I mean, not just the upcoming games, but also make some references to some games that were played. I mean, some of you will have heard me do some commentary on games when I was hosting streams on Hanno's channel. And a lot of people have said that I do a better job than a lot of the commentators you hear on TV. And I think, as much as I appreciate the compliment, I'd like to think that, if you want to talk about something, you've got to find a correlation to what's going on right now, because what's going on right now is the star. And I think we can all agree that the worst part about watching these online watch-alongs is nobody wants to hear or see people screaming like hooligans whenever anything happens. If you want to do that, you might as well buy a ticket and go to the game and scream your lungs out and just have a good time there. We don't want to see that on our screens. A watch-along has got to be something that accompanies the game. And I think you could possibly say that that's a reflection of what we're seeing on TV right now. I just think that, a lot of the commentators are also very good at their job. I do still love listening to Ian Dark whenever I can. Mark Tyler, not so much. That bloke puts me to sleep, quite literally, I have to say. Yeah. But there has to be a great deal more of improvement. And while there is a lot more that has been done in terms of, player interviews and actual analysis being done with the aid of technology, you're still not really providing people their money's worth. It's like you're providing too much of so many things, and you end up getting something that's not really appealing to everyone. It's like you add so many delicious ingredients to a dish, but when you mix them together, because they don't have the right flavor profile, it doesn't have a discernible taste. It's almost unpalatable. Does that make any sense?
Yeah, it does. Yeah. But then when you were doing it, you weren't getting these. They obviously getting that earpiece in, saying they've got to advertise. And
again, gentlemen, I'll be back.
Oh, okay. Okay, mate. But yeah, the thing, Anyway, I'll talk to you, Warren, mate. You ain't going to piss off now, are you? Like he does. No, but anyway. But yeah, you get all that fucking stuff with the earpiece, and they're probably telling them to do all this as well. I get all that, which is terrible for them. That probably puts pressure on them, because maybe they want to commentate on and tell you who's on the ball. Because that's what you want to know, isn't it? You want to know who's passing the ball, who's got the ball. Because you can't always see it, and for a start, it's too far away sometimes as well. They show it fucking miles away, don't they?
Mm.
You know, who's over there? Who's passing it? Who's doing this? And they go silent. Or then they go on about fucking something else, what they've done at the weekend, or where they're going, or where they're going to play golf, or fucking something else.
I know. It's shocking, mate. And like this business about promoting stuff as well all the time about what's coming up on the channel or like on the radio, like, oh, don't forget tomorrow night we'll have live coverage of boxing between Mike Tyson and Frank Bruno, and we'll have this X, Y, and Z coming up. Like, then they'll be talking about, like I say, like, for example, presidential election, or like, it's crazy. Don't forget, you can follow the presidential election as it happens on BBC Radio 5 Live. And I'm thinking, what do I need to know about that? It's just bullshit.
Then watch the fucking game.
Yeah. Or listen to, or even worse, if you can't even see the game, it's even worse. Do you know what I mean? It's bloody shocking. And I'm sick and tired of it, mate. And like I said to you, I am planning one Saturday. I am going to go on that 5 Live show. I'm going to try and get myself on 606, and I will have to lie to get on it and then just blow it up, because it is not acceptable. Do you know what I mean? Like, I remember once listening to Talk Sport, and that Laura Woods was getting upset because they hadn't mentioned, anything about the radio stations, one of the radio station sponsors or something. And she was going, oh, this is terrible, the poor sponsors. And I was thinking, no, fuck the sponsors. I'm not interested in the fucking sponsors.
No, exactly.
You know what I mean? But I stopped listening to that radio station about a year or more ago, because I got fed up listening to that fan of yours,
Natalie Sawyer.
Fan.
Yeah.
Huh?
Natalie Sawyer.
Yeah, well, she used to do a show on a Saturday with.
She's embarrassing, mate. No, she's great to look at, but fucking embarrassing.
Yeah, she used to do a show on a Saturday with an ex-Irish international striker. I can't remember who's Tony Cascarino, right? Tony Cascarino is brilliant. Like, I do really like him. He's decent, but like, she thought that I think she thought it was a Brentford fan channel that she was working. Do you know what I mean? Like, and that really pissed me off. But like, then when it got near Christmas, right, about 2 months before Christmas, she was going on about how she was putting her decorations up, and I was thinking, fucking hell. I said, I felt like if I could have put in a comment, I would have said, well, you're gonna change the decorations after a month because they'll need dusting. They've been up for so long. Do you know what I mean? It's just shit like this. Why do I need to know that? Just talk about fucking football. This is what the show's supposed to be about. Not about, you'll build up to Christmas and all the rest of it.
Yeah, there's other streams for that.
It's a shit show, mate. I mean, it really is a fucking shit show. And I'm sick of it. That's why I don't listen to that radio station anymore. You got Ali McCoy thinking he should be in the Comedy Store. You got fucking Alan Brazil. You never know where he's going to turn up or not, because he's probably pissed somewhere. Yeah. And then you got other ones going on there, just talk a load of shite.
I know. Exactly.
Exactly.
I'm trying to think of the really good ones on there. I actually quite like Simon Jordan. At least he says what he thinks. He does say what he fucking thinks. You know,
He's an
pretty
absolute
much honest.
He's
Yeah.
an absolute cunt.
He
Honestly,
is.
I can't stand him. But you're right. At least he says what he thinks.
Yeah, and fucking Keown on there. He always gets tells Keown it. Then he always gives him shit, man. On the other Keown the other day and that, and he's right though, because Keown is a prick now, an absolute prick. And you know, I think he was one of the Invincibles, right? Apparently, I don't know if this is right, but he only played about 10 games that season for the Invincibles. He was only in it, right, Warren?
Huh?
Apparently, he only played 10 games in that.
Yeah, I think it is right. I'll check it for you in a minute. But it's just ridiculous. He's a PR puppet for the club.
And
do you know what I mean?
Parler as well.
I remember watching that ESPN FC, right? And they had Stuart Robson on there and Kieran Gibbs, right? And fucking Stuart Robson just absolutely exposed Arsenal. He was a great footballer for us. His injuries ruined his career. But I used to love him. I remember him playing at Arsenal. Great player, Stuart Robson.
Yeah, I remember him as well. Yeah, he's a good player.
He's a attacking midfield player and scored quite a few goals from midfield. Right, he came on and he was explaining how he was doing work for Arsenal and then doing stuff, other bits and bobs for other people, and the work he was doing for Arsenal was just a small part of his income, and Arsenal had a go at him because they said that he wasn't promoting them enough when doing his other work, and he said, "Listen, I'm sorry, but you're only a tiny little part of my income," and it proves the point that they do tell these players that they have to go out and promote the club and be fanboys for the club.
Yeah.
And the guy was doing it, Burley, the host. He's the host, Craig Burley. And he was going, this is completely the wrong way to do this job. You have to be completely impartial. And he's right. You do, but these clowns, they're there waving their scars of their team and support, just going really OTT, pushing the PR of their club. And Arsenal were one of the worst offenders, big time. You know, you've got fucking Ian Wright and Martin Keown and all these other ones coming in. Ray Parler.
Yeah.
What I mean, just talking shite. You know, I don't believe they actually believe half of the stuff we're coming out with. It's shocking, mate.
Only ones you'll agree with or accept there is Henri and Petit and people like that who come out who honest and they say what it's like. Now they're not in it for fucking holiday or whatever or money going off somewhere. They're not in it for that. They're in it for the love of the club, isn't it? And
that's why you never see him on the TV.
Yeah.
You never see Petit. You never see Henri. You never see
Bergkamp or whatever.
Yeah, because they won't toe the party line. You know, they're promoting this absolute clown of a manager and the shambles that is running this football club. You know, so I'm the PR and the sponsors. It's out of control, mate. It really is out of control, and it needs reining in because it's destroying the product.
It is.
It really is. It is shocking, Mr. B. Do you know what I mean? I'm fucking sick of it. It's just crazy because I'm pretty sure there's loads of fans like me and you, are sick and tired of it.
Mm.
You know, if someone had the balls and the money to set, if I had the money, I'd do it. Set up a independent,
yeah,
like
channel.
TV company or a radio channel, like in competition to them. Once the word got out, people got to know about it, we'd smash it.
Yeah.
We would. We'd knock them out the park for their viewing and listening figures.
Yeah, because we got the fans' interest at heart. That's what it is. They want to watch the game. They're not interested in fucking everything else. They just want to see the game and want to hear the commentary and who's on the ball, who's doing what, you know.
And it gets really crazy as well during like major international tournaments that are played in the summer when they pan through the crowd looking for like attractive women.
Yeah.
Well, they do.
It's better than the game, yeah. I get that, but yeah, you know, you better watching that than the game sometimes because the games can be shit. Yeah, I get that.
Yeah, they can, but that's not the point. That's not why people have tuned in.
No,
it's to watch managers standing on the touchline, or like ex-players in the crowd, or women with big knockers and whatnot. Do you know what I mean? It's not. It's just absolutely crazy.
But yeah, I was going to say 2 big lads up front. Yeah, when you see them. But anyway, but you know, it's I've got to be careful, really. What I say there, but yeah, it is. Yeah, I know the games can be boring and useless. Nothing happens sometimes, and that. But you are there to watch it. That's the problem. You don't want to see other stuff. And I remember on Sky they used to do the fan commentary. Do you remember that? They used to have the fans there of that game. Those actual fans, and they were commentating on it. And you could hear that commentary, or you could see them there in the commentary thing. I don't know why they don't do that anymore. You know, I preferred that because they weren't talking about other shit. You know, they were talking about the actual game.
There you go. There's your answer. Yeah. Because they you know, they're not going to start doing the PR. They're not going to start promoting stuff. They're not going to talk about absolute garbage statistics and meaningless statistics and stuff like that. The whole thing is shambles. And like on the radio commentary, this situation where people are talking about nonsense, it will happen during the course of one half at least 2 or 3 times or 4 times. So it's almost like every 10 minutes it's happening.
Yeah.
And the commentary, when they are actually commentating and doing what they're supposed to be there for, it's rubbish.
Yeah.
They ain't got a fucking clue what they're talking about.
Yeah, I know. And then they don't tell you on the ball. It's miles away. I reckon they can't even see it. I reckon they're in a fucking room somewhere.
They get stuff even factually incorrect. And they just laugh it off or they ignore it. Do you know, or get players' names wrong or clubs they played for wrong, or it's a shambles. Mate, I can't bear it. I really can't. It's like, it really is doing my nutting. And so much so that when my subscription comes up for renewal, I'm thinking about cancelling it.
Yeah. I feel I wish I could as well, but obviously I want to see these games though. Some of these games.
I know that's the thing, but they're not showing it. Do you know what I mean? They're just refusing to do it, and like I said, that's why I want to go on that, 5 Live thing, 606, and just lash out at them. I mean, I'm not so much about Chris Sutton. Because I like Chris Sutton. I think he's really funny. The stuff that he comes out with. But especially when he's talking about Rangers. But it's a shit show. Mate, it really is a shit show. Do you know what I mean? It's just I can't be doing with it, mate. I really can't. It just makes my blood boil. So I'm really glad that you chose this subject to talk about.
Yeah, the thing is, it's taking over the show. We've got other stuff to go through, so I'm only going to speak about it a little bit more. I mean, your idea of that going independent, I think that's the best way. That's the only way I can see. Because that, these lot are just going to be business. It's going to be PR and everything. It's going to be advertising. Because, right, they're showing replays. The game's going on, and you're fucking seeing a replay of it. You do that at half time or at the end of a game. You don't show it while the game's going on. These people have got no clue who are directing it or whatever. They're not sport-minded. They ain't got a fucking clue. They're just there to promote their show and do what they want.
See, because the thing is, like, that's why I want the national broadcaster to take more of a role in it, right? Because like BBC doesn't advertise, it doesn't have adverts or anything like that, right? But they obviously can't compete with Sky because they haven't got the revenue, And I remember once saying, get sponsorship, get Coca-Cola to sponsor the live football so they can have it on BBC. But now, having seen what it's like now with Sky, no, I wouldn't be up for that at all. Do you know what I mean? Because mate, it's terrible. It really is. Can
you see any way out of this, man? Because we ain't got a clue. What can be done? You think of anything? Sort this out.
Look, I'm drawing a blank right now on this, quite frankly, and everything that you've said about the issue of sponsors. The problem is, as long as you have these sponsors who will provide the money, they're going to insist on having that sort of airtime. I do agree, though, that the coverage has to improve, and for what it's worth, being based over here where I am and getting my Premiership coverage on the Premier League channel by the Premier League channel, to be honest, we don't see too much in terms of necessarily club PR on that channel, because you are supposed to be talking for the entire Premier League. Obviously, when they select the pundits to be on duty, they will have had an association with the clubs that have played. But there is a little bit of impartiality. Perhaps the best example of that, Steve, was when Tim Sherwood was raging at decisions that went against you lot when you played Aston Villa. There should have been at least one nailed-on penalty, and the headlines would have been Axel's disaster costing those points or what have you. But, I agree with all the point Warren has said, and I do believe that what's going on over here is, instead of focusing a lot on the game in question and the finer technicalities, it is a lot more about PR and other unrelated stuff. And I agree with Warren. I don't want to hear about, it's one thing if it's going to be played, tomorrow and you can catch this on this channel, and I agree. I wouldn't mind that. But I don't want to hear, what's going on about other current events, other, non-football programs being aired, or even, I definitely don't want to hear about boxing, because as much as I enjoy watching football, I think I've lost interest in boxing ever since Lennox Lewis retired, for Pete's sake. There has to be, obviously, an investigation. I mean, maybe not an investigation, but a little bit of internal reflection in terms of the quality standards that are being used. I don't know if going independent is the answer, because the sad part is, unless you've got that financial capital under your thumb, unless you've got that with you, the fact is you can't make a foothold here. Any kind of an entrepreneurial venture will require a lot more in terms of capital being provided, whether or not you've got a lot of support, and you can have the public support. I completely agree. But one thing which I would like to perhaps see doing is maybe, if we are required to pay the licensing fees for BBC and IT, could we perhaps we talk about public ownership of the of football clubs? Could we perhaps see a situation where BBC and ITV have at least a small stake being given to the public so that the public can have the say in what content should be produced, how it should be produced, and so forth. And I know we've got a lot to talk about. We've spoken on this for about 45 minutes, but I see you've got an article there. But just briefly, I'd like to know if you think that maybe giving a chance to own part of these TV broadcasting channels will at least enable them to have more of a say in that. And what you were talking about, fan commentary, I thought that was pretty good too. I don't know why they discontinued it, but that's just my 2 pence on it.
Yeah, true. I mean, it's, this is obviously more about the punditry, but
And I'll be back.
That is another bad thing though. This punditry is shit. You got the likes Gary Neville and the other guy Carragher, Jamie Carragher, fucking bunch of muppets, couple of muppets them too, as far as I'm concerned, and they go on about their own fucking teams most of the time, about Liverpool and Man United. They're fucking biased as anything. And, you feel like, well, look, there's other teams there. You're not just talking about them. Other teams have got it bad as well, not just Liverpool, United or whatever. Well, in fact, Liverpool are going to win the Premier, so they ain't got it that bad. But, yeah, they're out of the Champions League, of course, but we all know that. But, but United are in a shit state, yeah, true. But... You just hear them banging on, and then they bang on about other things, and I think, I don't know. The pundits are just shit now. Some are okay there. I'll get 1 or 2 doing it that are okay. But it just don't add to anything to it, does it, Warren? Do you think? These pundits?
It most certainly doesn't. And because the standard is so poor. The problem is as well, we've got a situation where they have been told that they have to do certain things or mention certain things like, the PR and the marketing and all this carry on for the channel that they're working on. So they have to toe the party line. There's all that stuff with Sky when the likes of, Clive Tilsley wrote about the pitfalls of a commentary trio. They tend to speak to themselves, not the viewer. Yeah, and I've heard that several times, and it is really annoying. But they're obviously being told that there's certain things that they have to do while they're doing their commentary, right? So, and it's wrong. They shouldn't be doing that. They should be just given the freedom to talk about whatever they see fit, within the narrow parameters of the match that they're commentating on, or making, being the number 2 to the commentator or whatever. Because the problem is as well, now you've got a load of people who are working on these radio stations, TV stations, who have just appeared from nowhere. Like, who are these people? Why are they getting these jobs? Right, never seen them play the game before, then just suddenly appear out of nowhere. No track record, so to speak. And I've got serious question marks about how these people have been recruited. I want to see, if I could, I'd love to see the notes from the recruitment process, because I'm convinced that these people have been recruited in an unequal opportunities manner. Do you know what I mean? And there's part of me that sort of I can understand why Joey Barton says the stuff that he says. I'm not advocating what he comes out with at all. But I can understand why he's saying it, right? Because there is... It's just... I don't understand where they're getting these people from. You've got all these ex-players who have got more knowledge than these people that they're employing and will ever have. And yet, these people get jobs ahead of them. And I'm just thinking, well, hold on a minute. How can you recruit this person and over this one and that one? It just don't make any sense. And like I said, I think it's unequal opportunities. And I would like to see someone look into it because I think there's something really dodgy going on. Like they sacked Charlie Nicholas, Matt Letizia, Phil Thompson, all these people, and they've got a bunch of nobodies with no one's ever heard of replacing them. Do you know what I mean? It just makes no sense to me, mate.
Well, I think another reason they're doing it is because they want to appeal to the younger people and they want to have people of colour. They want to have women. That's all got to be put into this now.
But nowadays, positive discrimination in this country is fucking illegal. Whether the BBC, Sky, or whatnot, like it or not, you are not allowed to recruit people like that. It's a fucking crime, right? So, give them equal opportunities, give them chances to be recruited, but make it a fucking fair process. And I'm convinced this is not going on. It's fucking shocking. It's a fucking disgrace, mate. It's a fucking disgrace. And it's discriminatory behaviour.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? There's people there with years and years and years and years of experience. Like Clive Tildesley. What the fucking hell was he shown the door for? So they could get younger, like, people. No, you cannot do that. Age discrimination in this country, thank God, is illegal. Yet they seem to fly in the face of all that. And they've just fucking... They're not interested. They couldn't give two fucking hoots. Probably because they've got access to the best fucking lawyers on the planet and they'll get them out of it if someone takes them to court. I'm fucking convinced of it, mate. No one is going to tell me that is not what is going on. And that's why I'm so anti it. Right? It's not because I don't want to see women involved or I don't want to see people of colour involved or younger people involved. In fact, I want to see these people involved, but make it a fucking fair process. Because I'm telling you, there's a fucking bad whiff coming off it. It really is. Why were all these people fucking sacked?
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Matt Letizia and fucking all these, like Charlie Nicholas and fucking Phil Thompson and all these other people. Why?
Yeah.
These people have got more fucking knowledge and like respecting the game than all these other clowns that they've just put in there.
I mean, when they had Frank McClintock on there as well. He used to be on
exactly.
Well.
And it's just, mate, it's not right. You cannot fucking do that.
Yeah.
That's why I said to you, when we spoke about it earlier, I wanted to see the notes from the recruitment process. Because I used to work in recruitment, right? And if you don't watch what you're doing, you could be fucking sued and sacked. But the problem is these people are working for some of the richest and biggest organisations on the fucking planet.
Yeah.
So they can afford the best lawyers. So if it was like a legal challenge, like if Charlie Nicholas suddenly decided that he wanted to launch a fucking legal claim about the way he was gotten rid of, then they've got the best lawyer. He wouldn't be able to afford the best lawyers, but they would to get him out of it. It's fucking wrong. It's disgusting.
That's
why I'm saying to you, when my fucking contract is up for renewal, I'm thinking about cancelling it because I'm fucking sick of this bullshit.
Yeah. I mean, all these ex-players, right? They knew what the fuck they were talking about. You get these people in who ain't got a clue now, like Scooby, about anything.
And that's the other thing. It's dumbing it down.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Because these people, they're fucking clowns. They haven't got a clue what they're talking about.
Yeah.
And it's making the show look an absolute laughing stock. But because they've got a monopoly, they have to, like, if people want to watch the games, they have to fucking watch it and pay subscription fees for it. And that's a fucking another thing. The amount of fucking companies that are getting TV coverage in this country, there's at least 8 or 9 of them in this country you have to have a subscription to if you want to watch all the games. It's fucking out of order.
It is.
I'm getting a headache, mate. It's doing nothing.
Do about it, mate. I just ain't got a clue. It's just going to drag on, isn't it? It's not going to get any better, unfortunately. And you either, as you say, you get your choice now. So watch it or don't. Throw your money at give them the fucking money back and just fuck off. Tell them to fuck off.
I just think you should all fucking boycott it. But the problem is that will never happen.
Yeah, of course it won't.
Do you know what I mean? Because people are like too fucking selfish. Do you know what I mean? This is the problem with our this in a microcosm. It's the problem with Arsenal, right? The fans are like going into the stadium and they're happy going into the stadium and whatnot. Fair play to them. But at some point, you need to stand up and say, no, this is not acceptable. Right? And make a stand. But none of these fuckers will.
No.
Because they're getting what they want. They're just like, they're not bothered about whether the team's successful or not. They're not bothered about this. They're just getting what they want. They're getting their, their live games on the TV and whatnot. Mate, it's fucking ridiculous. It really is. It's a fucking shit show and a shambles. And I'm sick of it.
And that's the thing, right? It's fucking shoved the people like yourself, the die-hard real people, real ones of the past that loved the game and the success. They loved going to the stadium, seeing the great players and producing on the pitch. Haven't got that nowadays. They just want to go there and spend a load of fucking money on a load of shit.
See, this is what it is, Mr. B. This is the fucking root of it all, right? You've just fucking unearthed the root cause of it, right? The owners of these clubs are more interested. They'd rather get rid of all the fucking season ticket holders and just have a stadium full of tourists.
Yeah.
Well, because the tourists, they're going to go into the ground. I've got no problem with foreign fans. I haven't, not at all. And I know this probably sounds like I have, but I don't, right? But the owners are more interested in having tourists in the ground than season ticket holders, because a season ticket holder is going to come every game. So that every game they come, they are not going to go to the club shop, buy all the merch, buy the food, programs and all that carry on. They might get a program, but that'd be about it, right? Whereas the tourists, when they come, they're going to buy hats, they're going to buy scarves, soft toys, shirts, shell suits, jackets, fucking probably spend about $1,000 at least on merch. Whereas the season ticket holder's probably going to spend like a 10 or 12 quid. Do you know what I mean? So, they're making shitloads of money from having tourists in the crowd, and that's why they want it. Because these owners, they're more interested in what's on the balance sheet than what's in the trophy cabinet. And you're right, what you said about the likes of the older fans like yourself and me. They don't want us in the ground. They don't. They're not interested. Do you know what I mean? It's not like it was back in the day when I was going and I used to stand up there on that terrace. It's not. It's those days are gone, man, and I just can't see him ever coming back, and it's depressing.
Well,
You know,
like our stadium, you know, even like that, the B Stadium, you know, it's you know, the G-Tech as it is. You know, that's the branding now. They call it the fucking G-Tech. We used to have Griffin Park. What happened to Griffin Park? It's the fucking G-Tech now, and yours, Emirates.
Why is it called just out of interest, Steve? Why is it called the G-Tech?
Well, because it's sponsored by fucking G-Tech, Warren, basically. That's why it's called the fucking G-Tech. It's like, you remember Newcastle used to have the fucking Sports Direct Stadium. It used to call it Sports Direct. Under that, what's it, Ashley prick, wasn't it? That used to do it, you know, Mike Ashley.
Mate, you've got my fucking blood boiling because this is something I'm really, like, passionate about.
Yeah, be up
you
to
know
you.
what I mean? Like, hi, Luca. I hope you're good, mate. It just makes me so fucking angry. Right? Because it's a massive problem at Arsenal. It really is. I don't know about other clubs because I don't pay a lot of attention to it. But I do know that it's a huge problem at Arsenal. Huge problem. And they're one of the main culprits for it. I'm telling you, I had this thought the other day. I haven't mentioned this yet anywhere. I have a nasty feeling that within 10, 15 years, right, every time a team plays a game, be it the Champions League, where the Premier League, will have a different kit. Be a new kit brought out for every game.
Yeah.
You watch. They will do it. There will be a slight subtle change for this so they can make money out of the shop. Do you know, I can fucking see it coming, mate. Right? Back in the day, you used to have one shirt every 3 years. Or like, I remember one time in the 70s, I think Arsenal never changed their home kit for about fucking 10 years. It's the same.
It's all about that now, the money and the fashion, being fashionable with all these new designs and whatever, all the time.
You had two shirts. You had the home shirt and you had the away shirt. And the only time you used the away shirt was when there was a colour clash. So, like, if Arsenal or Brentford went to play up at Anfield or whatever, we'd have to put on our yellow shirt. Do you know what I mean? The blue shorts. Like, now it's fucking shambles. Every fucking season it's different colour for the away shirt. And like, it's like 3-4 fucking different kits. I'm telling you, at some fucking point, they're going to have a different kit for every fucking single game. I can see it coming.
Yeah, it ain't going to make them play any better.
Huh?
Ain't going to make them play any better, is it? They still play like fucking idiots on the pitch.
Well, it's the problem. In fact, it will probably make it worse because they won't be used to it. No, it's a shambles.
It's like, do you remember back in the day, Alex Ferguson blaming the grey kit they wore because they
changed it at half time, didn't they?
He blamed the fucking kit, didn't he? The grey kit. Oh, fucking twat, that guy.
But I can't stand him, mate. I fucking hate him with a passion.
Yeah, I hate. I mean, we were one of the rare teams, clubs that kept our same kit for a couple of seasons. We kept the same kit, didn't change it.
Now, fair play to Brentford for doing that. So, what's the traditional Brentford away shirt, Steve?
Oh, well, now I'm not so sure. But
but back in the day, like in the 70s and 80s, what would it have been?
I think it's sort of similar to the blue that we got now, the light blue. We had the light blue. Now they have like the bloody fucking pink one. Oh, fuck that. Fuck that pink shit. I don't like that, mate. I don't
Ah,
like it.
It's a madness. But like back in the day, if I went and looked at, say, 1976 footage of Brentford and they were playing away at Charlton or something like that, what kit would they have been wearing, do you reckon?
I think it was pretty much the blue. I know we always had the light blue, navy, whatever. I think that's pretty much what we had. I quite like that one. I mean, they had the one now with the away one. I do like some of the designs of it. They had the one with the bee wings. They had like the bee wings on them.
Yeah.
And I like them. I think they were really good. But you just go too mad. They go too mad and keep changing it like that. Like the fucking weather, you know.
I know. And some of these kits are fucking dreadful.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
They are.
Oh, Stepsy's going about the silver one. What was that, for United or what? I don't know. Arsenal? No, wouldn't be the Arsenal. Yeah, the Bruce Bernard one.
For example, Steve, I've just looked up Wikipedia, right?
Yeah.
The 1970, what season is 75-76 season, and your away kit was green shirt with black shorts and green socks.
When was that? 76?
75-76.
Oh, I wasn't watching it then, mate. I was only like about 1 year old or something.
77-78, it was like pale yellow and sky blue shorts.
Yeah.
And then it was sky blue shorts, shirt, and white shorts and white socks.
Mm.
So it's like always like blue and white was quite common by the looks of it. In the late 70s.
Luton, yeah.
You know.
Luton Town, yeah. I remember all that. Yeah, Luton Town once, yeah. United Silver versus Southampton, yeah. Well, I think it was mainly grey, I think. That was grey. And that's how they played, fucking grey, wasn't it? Fucking boring. But yeah, I mean... But anyway, we've got to move on, Warren. This has gone on too long, mate. I'm talking about this shit. It's not going to...
Sorry, that's probably my fault.
I mean, we got to do another stream about it sometime and make it a proper thing, you know, to talk about it. But obviously, we got the games to go. Got Champions League. I want to go over, obviously Liverpool, because they went out. And I'm going to bring that one up, put that one on here. And we'll talk about that briefly. We probably get the timer on, I think, and start using that. And really, it was poor from them. I thought PSG were all over them, and I thought they had a better team in that first leg. And then in the second leg, I thought they were pretty much the better team again. Although Liverpool at times had some good chances and played some good things, some good football, but I thought PSG overall were the better team. Do you agree, Warren?
Yeah, I didn't really see the second leg. I saw the first leg, and PSG battered them. They just couldn't cope with them. It's lucky that they got Alisson, probably the world's best goalkeeper, because otherwise they would have lost that first leg probably by 2 or 3. But they won 1-0. The game at Anfield went to PSG 1-0, and then it went to a penalty shootout. And as we all know, penalty shootouts can go anyway. You know, yeah. I remember my dad telling me that he remembers when he was a kid seeing a Scottish side playing in the UEFA Cup or the Cup Winners' Cup or something. And they didn't, in those days, they didn't have penalty shootouts, right? If it was level after extra time, it went to a toss of a coin. And his team got knocked out by tossing a coin. Like, you know, fucking hell. Imagine that. Like, fucking getting decided whether you went through or not by the toss of a coin. That is terrible. That's even worse than a penalty shootout.
Yeah, it's all a lottery, isn't it? Basically. It's all a lottery, isn't it?
Yeah. Well, I mean, like penalty shootout is, but at least did some fucking skill involved, not like tossing a coin. Jesus.
As Stepsy says there, I put Nunes and Jones on, but they were terrible, their penalties. Fucking terrible. Nunes, he can score 2 against us, but he can't take a penalty. He's fucking hopeless, that bloke. He scored 2 against us. I still can't believe that. Yeah, Stepsy said, I remember FA Cup games going replay after replay until the winner. Yeah.
Yeah, it happened. I remember it happening in the late 70s. Arsenal played Sheffield Wednesday in the 3rd round. I think there was 5 games. And then in 1980, we played Liverpool, and I think it went to 5 games in the semi-final before we finally beat them. It was mental. There was first game was at Villa Park. No, Hillsborough. Then it went to Villa Park twice. And then the last game was played at Filbert Street, Leicester's ground. Because in those days, Leicester played at Filbert Street. And we finally knocked them out.
Yeah.
It's a madness. Do you know what I mean? That season we played something like 74 games, right? I think there was a spell in April we were playing every 2-3 days. So we were playing like almost 3 or 4 games a week. It was crazy. You know?
Yeah. You don't get that now because it's fixture congestion now, isn't it? Too many games now.
No, exactly.
Can't do it. But you got any more to say? You obviously didn't really see this one, the second leg, then really much, or
no, I didn't. I've got nothing to say about it really.
But
I mean,
really,
sad for them, but you know, maybe they got their eyes on other prizes. I don't know.
Carabao Cup, I guess, for them.
Well, they got the Carabao Cup at the weekend, but it's a one-off game now, isn't it? It's not. I'm a bit surprised if they did decide to like prioritise the Carabao Cup or the league. I'd be surprised because Liverpool got such a proud history with that competition. Do you know what I mean? I mean, Arsenal's record in Europe is shocking. We are dreadful. We think we've won 2 trophies throughout the whole of our history. We won the Fairs Cup back in 1970, and then we won the Cup Winners' Cup.
Yeah.
With George, and then we got to the final again the next year, and then lost. So. Yeah. Well,
I think we hear what Manny's got to say. Did you see this second leg, Manny? Did you watch much of it, mate, or this Liverpool one?
I saw the first. As far as the second was concerned, I think I was a little bit tired and didn't really watch it. I suppose my take from this is that Liverpool got complacent because they thought, the Anfield atmosphere would get them through. They did brilliantly to come away with a smash and grab win at the Parc des Princes, and the tie was there to be won. But I think it was that complacency which led them to concede that needless first goal. I think Ibrahim Konate will, look back on that and say that was not his finest moment. And Liverpool just weren't able to take their chances. And PSG, we've got to say that this is a much improved PSG, this competition, over the shell that was there in the group stage. I mean, Arsenal beat them, for heaven's sake, at the Emirates. But they've made some changes to the team, obviously. They're not focusing too much on star power. I'm that Georgian fella, Kvaratskhelia, who, quite frankly, is 24 karat gold, pun intended. But, you get the feeling that with PSG, they're starting to become quite serious, and their reward will now be a tie against Aston Villa. But I just think...
I'll get into the injury time, mate. Don't worry. We're going to the injury time now, all right? I'll put the other timer up, and we're going to that, all right, mate? And you can carry on with that, yeah?
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, I'll try and be brief, and if what Warren is saying is true, and then maybe they're I can't believe that, given Liverpool's proud history, they would have, been willing to bin the Champions League and say that's fine. We've got bigger fish to fry because, as Warren said, they do have a proud history in the competition. That defeat literally would have, it would have hurt them a great deal. But I think they got a little bit complacent, and when it came to the penalties, they just weren't really composed enough. And at the end of the day, you have to say that PSG were the rightful winners, and that's pretty much my take on the whole thing.
Oh yeah, well, as you say, I think
Step C basically saying that they wanted to win the Premier League as well as the Champions League, and quite rightly so. Still, I mean, in Slott's first season, he can be happy with securing the league, but he knows that he will need to do a lot more. And obviously, once he sells a few of the aforementioned players who are out of contract or ripe to be sold and buys his new players, I think he'll start to do very well. Fraser will be important, though, and that's ironic because he's hardly played.
Yeah. Yeah. But really, I think overall, I thought PSG did deserve it. I thought they were better in that, certainly that first leg as well. They had loads of chances. I thought Liverpool came away a bit of a smash and grab, really, over there in the first leg. And I thought they looked a lot better than Liverpool in this one, even. I know Liverpool did have chances, and they were, at times, very good. But I still thought, overall, PSG were the better team. And I think it's going to be a real tough one now for Villa in the was it quarterfinals, isn't it? So it's going to be really tough for them.
Be very careful there, Steve. Be very careful. Don't write off Villa just yet. I mean, obviously, we're going to talk about them, but for reasons, which we will delve into, they might actually make a better fist of it against PSG than Liverpool. And given that they've got Marco Asensio on loan from PSG, who has effectively been told that he's surplus to requirements, thanks to UEFA's brilliant ruling, which means that loan players can play against their former clubs, I would love to see him, really put one over on them. But I think we'll talk about that once we get to it further, yeah?
Yeah. We're also going to get to them, as you say. And I think we will move on. Obviously, they're out, Liverpool, but as we say, they've got other things, bigger fish to fry, maybe they would consider, I guess. So we move on, and we'll go into, obviously, a lot of the others got through: Barcelona, Bayern, Inter, all through. Very good teams, of course. So really, it's going to be tough. But of course, we go to your games, lads. Yeah. What do you think of this one, gents? Who wants to go first with this?
I'll let Manny go.
Yeah, go on, Manny. 2-2 in the end. 9-3 on aggregate.
Yeah, well, obviously, the tie was decided in the first leg in Eindhoven. So obviously, Arteta wanted to field a changed team. I remember taking a look at the lineup and feeling absolutely disgusted seeing Kieran Tierney being selected to play the role of left winger. I mean, this guy, Arteta, is very good at gaslighting players he doesn't like. And thankfully, Kieran Tierney actually had a pretty good game, maybe not quite as good as Raheem Sterling. And I think you said it in the group chat, Steve. He finally, proved his value, did Sterling, pun intended. And, it was, you could say it was a somewhat inconsequential game, but one thing we can definitely say is that by failing to beat them on our home turf, we showed that we've got no chance in the next round, because this should have been an opportunity for us to really, sort of underline our superiority over this team who we, thrashed to Kingdom Come, quite literally. And we just weren't able to do that. And I think we were sort of content to sort of just coast a little bit. An interesting theory, of course, is that in as much as it's important to give youth a chance, there are plenty of fringe players in the team who needed to get some minutes. I mentioned Tierney and others. And if they hadn't have been selected for this big Champions League game, then, they probably would have gone over. And you know what? You do this to us. I mean, you're paying us salary and you keep us out for some kids. And there's always going to be that issue. And I think you've got to sometimes blame Arteta because he hasn't always gotten the balance right. But still, that is another thing to consider. And also, when you have a situation where some of the senior players just aren't worthy, you've got to say, listen, instead of you, I will play some kids. For people like Tierney, there should be no blame attached to him. He was a terrific servant for us. And I hope that when he goes back to Celtic, he will sort of enjoy home comforts and get back to being the great player he was. He has been picked for the Scotland squad for their Nations League playoff against Greece, and I think he might either slot in alongside Andrew Robertson as the left centre-back, or with Robertson starting to be found out a little bit, could very well be that Tierney goes into the left-back role and Robertson goes into the centre. But and you've also got to give credit to the players who did shine. But a 2-2 result against a team we thrashed 7-1 on their home turf, it doesn't make for very good reading, and we're not going to have much of a chance, really. And I'll be brutally honest with you, I didn't even watch the game. I was focusing on the Villa-Bruges game and also keeping an eye a little bit on the Madrid derby at the Metropolitano. But, had we at least secured the win, I would have, been a little bit satisfied. But a 2-2 draw, I'm sorry, but I'm not too fond of our chances. And I do believe Warren will agree with me on this. It was just, a kickabout with the boys, as a certain ex-Brentford striker would say. And that was pretty much it. And in response to Darren's question, what chances do we have of beating Real Madrid? Mate, we have no chance. Without, certain players, and we just don't have the right level of technicality, people are going to rave about Martin Odegaard, but, he's a Madrid reject for a reason. And I wouldn't be surprised if he ends up going missing again, be it at the Emirates or at the Bernabeu. So that's pretty much my take on it. And I will hand the floor to Warren now for his observations.
Yeah, okay. Go on then, Warren. What you got to say about this?
Well, I agree with Manny. I don't understand why Kieran Tierney was played at outside left. Makes absolutely no sense to me. The guy is he's a left back, right? He's played there almost all his career. When he first started out as a youngster, not even playing first team football, I think, when he was at school or just left school, he did play as a left winger, but not in any sort of serious level. He's always been a left back, so I just don't understand it. To me, it just smacks of more Arteta madness and like trying to shoehorn players into positions. It's not rocket science, right? You play the best. You play your players in the position they feel most comfortable in.
Yeah.
Start messing around like that, and you're asking for trouble.
Yeah, because you're ruining them. They know one way to play in one position, and that's what. How can you expect them to adapt to a new position?
No, it's like finally he's playing Zinchenko in his proper position, which is in midfield. And it's no surprise that his performances have dramatically improved since he's done that.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? And because I feel quite sorry for the lad, because I think he's another one that's been ruined by Arteta. He was never a left back. This in business of him playing left back was started by Pep, right? But just because it's Pep doesn't mean to say that he's going to be right all the time. He's a human being. He is going to make mistakes and fuck things up. It is just the nature of the beast. So, I'm not in favour of this. I think You play the players in their preferred position, and that's it. End of story.
Yeah, definitely. I agree, 100%. I'm just glad because I was hearing what Manny was saying there about Scotland and that and Tierney and whatever, and I'm just glad they're not going to play Aaron Hickey. They're going to let us play him because he's going to play after the internationals for the Bees. I'm glad you're not playing him.
No, I agree with you. You can't play him if he's not had any first team action with Brentford. He's not ready. It could really set back his recovery from his injury.
Yeah.
So I'm glad about that.
I'm glad.
Games against Greece are going to be really intense, apart from anything else, because the Greeks are a really strong, good outfit, and if we get through, it'll be a massive performance because they are a decent outfit. Allegedly, I didn't see the game, but when they went to play England at Wembley, they put 2 or 3 past them.
Yeah.
Right. They took England to the cleaners.
Yeah.
So, it's it all. I'm seriously concerned about that game.
Yeah, Greece is slippery, mate. That's
Exactly.
Anyway, I know somebody who'd like to talk a lot about this one. Aston Villa 3, Bruges 0, and that's Manny because he's number 1, kept a clean sheet. Big Emmy Martinez. So go on, Manny. Let's go through this one, mate. I'm sure you love this one.
I mean, yeah, but well, here's the thing. The reason why I probably won't be talking much about Emmy, the person who I think happens to be the best in the world in terms of, I think Warren might disagree. I think he definitely will disagree. But he had literally nothing to do. And it was, obviously the first leg was we were talking about that, how Club Bruges actually played very well and gave Villa some problems and were rather unlucky to have lost to those 2 late goals, the freakish own goal and then a clumsy penalty that was dispatched by Marco Asensio. But this time around, what was smart about Emery's game plan was that he decided that, at the very beginning, they were going to be a little bit more pragmatic because they didn't want to give Bruges too much in terms of an opportunity to really get a foothold in the game. And Bruges were looking very good in terms of, their ball movement and their possession and, giving Villa a few scary moments. But, Villa's defense, which I've criticized on many occasions, Steve, you will know, held firm very well. And Martinez didn't even have a save to make. I think that's a bit of an exaggeration. He did have 1 or 2, but they were, absolute dollies, really. And the match really turned as a contest when the right back, the number 64, Sabe, was sent off. And you've got to give Martinez credit for this because people say his distribution isn't as good as David Raya's. Those idiots need to give their head a wobble. A brilliant pass which found Marcus Rashford, and he was pretty much through on goal. Mignolet wouldn't have had much of a chance, but then Sabe sort of pulled him back. And because it was outside the penalty area and he was the last man, instead of getting booked and conceding a penalty, it was a straight red and he had to go. And that was when I knew that the match was effectively over as a contest. And what Emery did, seeing as though, the team looked a little bit, I want to say static, perhaps, a little, I wouldn't say clumsy, but they weren't exactly making too much of a headway. But then once it was clear that Bruges were never really going to do very much with that one-man disadvantage, he brought on the super subs, Asensio and that boy, Bailey, and the rest is history. I think they got a new chant about Asensio, how he won the league in Spain, went to France and won it again. I'll have to look that up on Twitter for you, gentlemen. And it was just routine. It turned out to be a bit of a rout. And the reason why I want to talk about this is because you take a look at the players that Emery has in his squad right now, and many of them are just so technically gifted, it's almost unfair. people have the gall to say that Arteta was right not to make any real signings in January because he didn't think there were any players who would have improved the team. You take a look at Asensio. He's played for Real Madrid. He's obviously on loan from PSG, and PSG have made it clear that his services won't be required. But I'll tell you what, the reason why obviously, he left Real Madrid was because obviously when he was playing under Ancelotti, who, knows how to be ruthless, he sort of found himself phased out a little bit. And he knew that his limited, he wouldn't get too many more opportunities. So he had an opportunity to move to PSG and he moved. Hasn't quite worked out for him. But now at Aston Villa, the skill that he has is just, literally amazing. And Bailey and other players, Rodgers especially, you see the level of vision, the technique they have. They could very well end up giving PSG a run for their money. And you wouldn't want to sleep on them. And I think it's a real credit to the job that Emery has done, that he's taken Aston Villa from championship, outliers to Champions League potential contenders. Definitely give PSG a run for their money. And if they end up making the semi-final, in all likelihood against Real Madrid, who knows? They're very well equipped to handle European competition now. And under Emery, and with Emery, they've got a magnificent manager. They haven't been at their consistent membership, but maybe now they could start. They have a knack of being able to go on a little bit of a run near the end of the season. So they're also in the quarterfinals of the FA, almost certain to make the semi-finals if they beat Preston. So it's a great time to be claret and blue. But I think we're going into injury time. I was happy with the result. I liked the performance, and I'm looking forward to seeing how well they do in Paris. But now whatever likes to say. If he
go on, Warren. You take over. I think Manny's gone again. You take over, mate, yeah.
Well, it's a good result for Villa, that's for sure. Something I wasn't expecting.
And once again, I'll have to.
Not against that team they were playing against, because they're very defensively well organised, and the fact they were able to beat them so comprehensively was a bit of a surprise to me, to be quite honest. They did it in the first leg and they did it in the home leg. So fair play to him. And Unai is working his magic again in European football. He's the master of it.
Well,
he really is. So that's all I've got to really say about it, Steve, to be honest.
Well, Arsenal got rid of a better manager, didn't they? And got a bloody card, didn't they?
Yeah, I wasn't in favour of it, to be honest. I wasn't. I just thought it was a big mistake. Particularly when you saw who they replaced him with.
Yeah. Absolute dud there, novice. They'd never managed before.
Don't understand it. This is why I think there's something else going on that we're not being told. Because they passed up the opportunity to get Carlo Ancelotti for this clown. And I just don't understand it. The guy is the most successful manager in modern football history, and you're like turning your nose up at it for someone with no experience whatsoever. It just makes no sense to me.
Yeah.
It's fucking madness on the grand scale.
Do you think what they didn't want to win nothing? They don't want to win nothing. So they thought they'd just get Arteta in.
Yeah. So the owner did say that. But, from a footballing perspective, it makes zero sense. Zero sense. This is why I think there's something else going on, mate.
Yeah, totally. Bit controversial there, I think. Bit of a, something there. But unfortunately, that seems to be the way, and you got to part with that clown for the foreseeable future, I guess. Unfortunately, I do feel sorry for you, lot. I really do. I'm sorry, I do.
So all I want is a manager, and the club to be managed in a way that I can believe that they're like they're pushing it, trying to put it in the right direction. I don't have that feeling. Like, like I said to you, I've said to you before, like, I've been supporting that club since 1972. And I've never, ever in all those years seen it in such a mess as it is now. Because I don't trust the owners. I just don't. I don't think they're interested in Arsenal. I don't think they've got the club's best interests at heart. They don't want to see it winning. They even said that they didn't buy the club to win trophies. That is a major red flag for me. Major red flag. So, why did they buy it then? That is the question that needs to be asked. If I had the opportunity to ask the Cronkies one question, that would be it. You said when you bought the club, you did not buy it to win trophies. So I'd like to know, why did you buy it? And I'd like them to be given some sort of medication or something before the answering the question, which meant that they couldn't lie. I just do not trust them, mate. I just think they're fucking really dodgy. They're snides. Do you know what I mean? You know what I mean when I say someone's a snide, don't you, Steve?
Oh, yeah, of course I do,
yeah. So, they're snide. They're a couple of snides. So, anyway, the next one you just pulled up, Atletico Madrid and Real Madrid. I saw the first one over in Spain when Real Madrid won 2-1. And it was a tight game, but over the two legs, probably it was really tight and it could have gone either way. It ended up going to a penalty shootout and like the Liverpool game. And, Real won. They got... No matter what happens, they always find a way how to win, and this is why they will win the tournament again this time.
Yeah, I only brought this one up as well because of this incident. It was a double kick apparently that Julian Alvarez, of course, the ex-City player, he double kicked it apparently onto his other foot. I was watching it and I wasn't totally sure he did. But what's your opinions on it, gents?
I didn't see it, mate. So I don't know. Was it a penalty in the regular time, or was it in the shootout?
No, in the shootout, they said he double kicked it, and so they disallowed it. He scored, and it was double kick. Apparently, I've seen worse than that. That have actually he's kicked it onto his standing foot. They've had that before. I think was it. Well, some penalty was it? How many was it? Beckham done it or somebody? Somebody done it one time in a penalty shootout. I think double kicked it off his standing foot. But you don't see it that often. That's the thing. You don't see this that much.
So the thing is, was it deliberate or was it?
Well, he slipped. He slipped.
Well, if he slipped, I don't understand how they can rule it out. But whether he did actually slip or not. There he is, the governor. That's all I want.
Simeone, yeah.
The guy is so intense, Steve. Apparently, Kieran Trippier tells a story how this guy would be ringing him at 3:00 in the morning to talk about football. That is the sort of madness that I like. Do you know what I mean? Because I know full well that when he comes into Arsenal, within a few days, there's going to be a body count outside the stadium. Ben White, for sure, will be pinned up against the fucking dressing room wall by his throat because he will not take any bullshit.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? He's a proper gangster. I mean, look at him. Fucking hell. He'd scare the shit out of someone just by looking at him. Do you know what I mean?
We had all that thing with Beckham years ago, didn't it? We all hated him.
This is what I mean. He's got that mentality, that winning mentality, win at all costs mentality. And, that's what you want.
Yeah. Yeah. See, that was it there. The Argentine steps up from 12 yards and, despite slipping, smashed his penalty just beneath the crossbar past the hapless Thibaut Courtois.
Mm.
I thought it was a great penalty, actually. I thought it was a brilliant penalty. When it hit the underside of the bar and went in, but it was classed as a double kick. But the kick was disallowed following a VAR check, which ruled that he had touched the ball with both feet as he fell. From the referee's whistle to take the penalty, it's being disallowed, took 1 minute and 8 seconds.
Mm.
Officials' right to rule out Julian Alvarez's penalty. And they also got the thing there, poll. And the laws of the game state here, in describing the procedure of a penalty shootout, it is stated a penalty kick is completed when the ball stops moving, goes out of play, or the referee stops play for any offence. The kicker may not play the ball a second time.
Well, it's clear, isn't it?
Yeah.
Right, it does seem a bit harsh that it is disallowed because he slipped.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? I mean, if he deliberately kicked it onto his foot and it had fucking gone in, then that's a different story. But it sounds a bit harsh to me. But I haven't seen it, so I can't really comment, to be fair.
Did you watch this one, Manny, the penalty kicks? I know you said you weren't going to watch it, but I don't know if you did in the end or what.
Yeah, the thing is, Steve, I did actually watch the highlights. Thank goodness to my sports providers, the Sony Sports Network, for excellent highlights package where we got to see all the penalties. And I also did find out a lot about the whole kerfluffle on BBC Sport and also Twitter. And there were a lot of people saying, you know what? I don't think that really was a deliberate kick. And what angered me a great deal is, in all the time that we've been doing streams, Steve, you know that I've been very supportive of VAR, supportive of the technology, and say that, you know, moments for certain things, VAR is very, very useful indeed. But it seems to me that they made that decision based on the judgment of the flight of the ball, and took the conclusion that it had to be because Alvarez touched it with his standing foot, which was his left leg, and then kicked it with his right leg. So, you know, the flight meant that it was, you know, it had to be a double kick. Now, there are some occasions where, of course, if a penalty is saved and the goalkeeper is found to have illegally encroached or what have you, or for anything, the penalty is nullified in order to be retaken. I'm sure you'll know about that. And I would like to think that maybe in this particular case, if it's very difficult to give the benefit of doubt to a certain party, the very least you should do is retake that. But then there was, of course, an instance in a Champions League final of a very satisfying spot, which wasn't rewarded with a retake, that, as you would call the wife shagger, John Terry, that absolute rat. You know, well, what made me angry, what really made me happy actually with that penalty miss was that he stepped up as the fifth penalty taker and wanted to be the big hero, you know, Billy Big Balls, as you would say, and applaud it. But then he slipped. His penalty hit the bar. Edwin van der Sar went the wrong way, but, you know, Chelsea didn't score. And thankfully, United ended up winning with Nicolas Anelka, the ex-gunner, missing the penalty. Now, Stepsy says here, he says the ball didn't move. The thing is that the ball took some revolutions, apparently. When you take a clean spot kick, you don't see the ball spinning around. You know, it says that the ball wouldn't be, in the words of Kylie Minogue, spinning around. So, goalie, move out of my way. I don't want you to feel me when I move past you or something like that. And so they took that conclusion. But if you have proper video analysis of the whole thing, close-up technology, that would be a perfect way to determine whether or not Alvarez actually touched the ball with his standing foot. And the more we see it on the replays, the more and more we are not convinced that he actually took that touch. So the evidence in favor of disallowing the penalty was sketchy at best. But at the end of the day, you also have to give credit to Real Madrid for standing tall. Credit to Carlo Ancelotti for having the ruthlessness to take Vinicius Jr. off the field after he made that horrendous penalty miss, which could have settled the tie in normal time, let's not forget. And just say that Aaron said it's Real Madrid. They find a way. And I think that we will find a way against this team. Give your heads a wobble. Don't you even dare presume to think that way. But I thought that was extremely controversial. And as Warren said, it was a little bit harsh. But, according to the letter of the law, it had to be done. And for Thibaut Courtois, who played for Atletico, to accuse Simeone and company of crying all the time, I think that was really in poor taste. I mean, you're supposed to be magnanimous towards your opponent. I know it's a local derby. You can be tribal. But that sort of stuff is exceptionally, disgusting to say. And if you are that arrogant, one of these days it could come back to bite you on the backside. And, if it is unintentional, then maybe it could be retaken. But the problem there, Stepsy, is that, if John Terry's slip was not rewarded with an attempt to retake it, then Alvarez's slip probably can't be. But unless you are certain that the rule was indeed infringed deliberately, then you're right. You can't just, make that sort of a decision. You can't jump to that sort of conclusion unless you have that concrete evidence. Besides, the ball can also have taken that sort of flight from the way Alvarez kicked it with his right foot. There are so many. But, as fans of cricket, we also know that whenever there is a review and you aren't quite sure about anything against the batsman, you give the benefit of doubt to the batsman every single time. In the same way, I'm not saying that Alvarez should have been given the benefit of doubt, but at least have the penalty retaken if you aren't able to properly adjudicate it, if you don't think he should be given the benefit of doubt. So it was unfortunate, but you also have to take a look at the match over the two legs and say that at the end of the day, Real Madrid created a lot more. They wanted it more. And a lot of people said that after Gallagher scored that goal within barely 30 seconds, they couldn't score a single goal. They offered very little of a threat going forward. I think they were trying to hit Madrid on the counter. They did force Courtois into making a couple of saves, but not much more after that. And Real Madrid were the ones who just wanted it more. And they had more composure. And you've got to say that they are worthy winners. So I guess it's all well that ends well.
Yeah, for sure. So some quick predictions here,
and Steve, listen, I'm going to have to go now because I've got somewhere to go. But if you're talking about the games being played tonight in the Europa League, I'll give you my predictions and then I'll be off.
Go.
United against Sociedad. That's tonight at Old Trafford. I'm actually going to go for this to go to penalties and Sociedad to win. I think it'll probably finish in a 1-1 draw and Sociedad will win. Spurs are going to play Alkmaar. I think as much as it may pain me to say this, and Warren won't be impressed, I think Spurs might end up winning this by a 2-goal margin and going through. And Rangers against Fenerbahce. Rangers are 2-1 up after that brilliant first leg.
3-1.
I think Rangers might end up losing by a goal, but they will go through on aggregate. So thanks a lot, Steve, for hosting the stream. And you and Warren can finish it off. And Warren, always good to see you. Big up to everyone in the chat, Stepsy and everyone else. And I'll see you all very soon. Thanks, everyone.
Yeah, cheers, mate. Bye. Cheers.
Well,
yeah, it was 3-1, wasn't it? 3-1. Yeah.
They were Rangers are actually 3-1 up, not 2-1 up. So if Fenerbahce win 1-0, then Rangers will go through. And I think Rangers will go through. Because they're good in Europe. You can't take it away from them. As much as I hate to say it, I just think 3-1 up and a home leg to come. They don't know how they do it, but they seem to be able to get it out the bag. So I'm going for a 1-0 win for Rangers. Man United, Sociedad. I think United will win by the odd goal and go through. And then the other game, is it Spurs?
Yeah, Spurs and Outmore.
Yeah. What's the aggregate score there?
1-0 Outmore.
Yeah. So Alkmaar are 1-0 up. I think that game will be a draw. I think Spurs will go out.
Yeah. I'm going for I'm going to Sociedad to beat United 2-1.
Yeah.
Through. And it's not. I'm not being biased. I'm not nothing against United. Well, I could be, but it's not. I still think they will go out. I think, as you say, Rangers will get through. They're 3-1 up anyway. So I'd say they probably will get a couple more, maybe 2-0.
I think
like that
as well. That game, Steve. Sorry to interrupt you.
Yeah.
There'll be an incident involving Jose Mourinho. Something's going to happen with him. He just can't help himself. There's always drama, whatnot when he's around. He just can't help himself. So watch out for that because it's bound to happen. He'll either be sent off or there'll be an altercation on the touchline involving the fourth official or someone from the Rangers bench. I'd love to see him deck Barry Ferguson, but there you go.
Yeah. No, I think they will definitely get through though. Rangers, as you say, did you say you think Spurs will lose this? Go out against Outlaw. You said that, didn't you?
Yeah, I think it'll be a draw, and I think Spurs will go out. I think United will go through, and I think Rangers will go through. But I think this one, I'm going for Spurs to go tumbling out.
Yeah, as much as I'd like to see them go out, Warren, I don't think they will somehow. I've got a feeling they're going to come back here.
The thing is, I do feel quite sorry for Big Ange because I do really like him because I remember what he was like when he was at Celtic, and he's so honest. There's no bullshit with him. Do you know what I mean? And I really respect him, but I just think he made the wrong choice for club. That club there's a huge problem in that club, and it's not the manager. You can't keep. They've had some of the best managers in football go there. They've had Ange, and then they've had that was the Italian guy that was there before Ange. Conte, yeah. I mean, the guy's a serial winner. Everywhere he goes, he wins trophies. The only place he hasn't done was when he went to Spurs, and there's a reason for it, mate. It's the way the club is structured and the ownership. It's a shambles.
Levy, isn't it? Yeah.
Yeah, it's Levy, 100%, mate. It needs shaking up.
Yeah, well, I think they're going to come back. I think they'll win 2-0. Spurs come back and get through. That's what I'm going for. But we go to the Premier now, so we've done all those. And we go through them quickly, and that'll be it, mate, because we've gone over 2 hours. Well, getting over to 2 hours nearly. Yeah. That's Saturday. Right, there we go. And this one first, Everton West Ham, Warren. What do you make of that one? Quick prediction or talk about it you want quickly? Or?
Yeah, draw. I'm not sure what it'll be, but I think that's got a draw stamped all over it.
Yeah. Yeah, what 1-1 do you think? Something like that?
2-1. Yeah. 1-1 or 0-0.
Mm.
And as Cluffy would say, and all that sort of thing.
Yeah.
He used to say it all the fucking time. You listen to him, he always throws that little comment in at the end, and all that sort of thing.
Oh, he's brilliant, wasn't he? But,
class, mate. We could do with someone like that now. I tell you, he wouldn't put up with all this fucking bullshit on commentary and all the rest of it. He used to go into enough during the 70s and 80s. Christ almighty, he'd have a connery now.
yeah, definitely. But yeah, I'm going 1-1 for this one. So yeah, 1-1. Ipswich Forest, I would say this one. Do you think?
Comfortable win, 2-0, 3-1, something like that. I think Ipswich have finished.
I don't know. Unfortunately, but I think they're a decent team, but they're just not ready for the Premier yet.
No, they come up. Don't forget they were in League One like 2 years ago. Do you know they've risen too far too soon? In my opinion, they could have done with another year in the Championship.
Yeah, definitely. I think if they go down, they could come back up maybe next year. Who knows? But it's just too soon. I think Forest to win probably 3-1. I'll go Forest.
Yeah, I think so too, Steve. I think Chris Wood will get at least one of them as well.
Yeah, they're still going well, Forest, aren't they? So, yeah, definitely. And City, Brighton. Well, you'd think maybe City, but I don't know. Brighton are
I've got a feeling that City are going to turn up in this one and win like 2 or 3. But you just never know. If Brighton suddenly turn up, it could be a really tricky afternoon for City. So, yeah, I'm going 2-1 City.
Yeah, I might go with that. I don't know, really. Actually, I'm going to go Desmond here too. I just think Brighton could do something. I just got a feeling. And I don't think City are the same team now. They just aren't, that we're used to seeing. And they come back a bit, but, now they've only got the FA Cup, haven't they, to go for. So
I was talking, just as it's related to this game, sort of. I was talking to one of my mates in Scotland the other day, and he said that the big rumour is that Pep's going to resign and Brendan Rodgers is going to take over at City.
Oh,
I can't see it, mate, to be honest. I said to him, mate, are you sure? I said, I can't see it, to be honest.
Yeah, you don't want him going, do you, fella? Leaving there?
No. I don't think he will, because I think he wants to have another crack at the European Cup, because I think he thinks that he can do better than the playoff round. And I agree with him. That squad of players, I think that they could go deeper into the tournament than where they did this season. Like, they got into the playoff round and got drawn against fucking Bayern Munich. Like, how many that could have happened? Do you know what I mean?
That was always going to be a loss there, wasn't it, against them in the way?
Yeah,
you feel
so, but they played so well against Munich over the 2 legs, particularly in the last 15 minutes at Celtic Park, and then over in Germany. Right, they should have beaten them like by 2 or 3 in Munich. Look,
they were a better team.
Done at Leverkusen, they smashed them. I'm convinced that they can do stuff in that tournament. I think that's what he thinks as well.
Yeah, I do. No, I can't see him going yet. Brendan leaving them.
So this one, Southampton Wolves. I think Wolves will win it by the odd goal. Because I think Southampton are probably one of the worst teams in the history of the Premier League. They
nearly done Liverpool, didn't they, the other day? 1-0 up there.
Yeah, they won 1-0 up. They ended up losing 3-1. But they're dreadful. They've been awful this season, Steve.
True, yeah. Well, yeah, we walloped them, didn't we? Well, a lot of teams walloped them, really. So, yeah, I think I'll go 3-1 Wolves here. I'm going.
Yeah, I'm going 2-1 because I don't think Wolves have been that great this season either. I mean, they're just above the relegation zone, aren't they? And if they win this game, that I think it's dusted for Southampton. Well, to be honest with you, mate, I think it already is.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, for sure. Oh, and this one, half five.
Here we go. This will be interesting.
Well, I've got to do a preview for this somehow. It might be tomorrow. I'm hoping to get up the cherries in all departments, one of them lads on to do it. If I can get hold of them to talk about it, to sort it out. But, yeah, I don't know. This is going to be a real toughie for us, I think. Real toughie. And we got good away form. You know, it's a lot better than the fucking home form, that's for sure. But, you know, I don't know. I think we could lose here, Warren, you know?
No. I don't think so. Your away form is like, I don't know, but I've got suspicion that if you looked at the current form table, I reckon you'd be in the top 4 easily.
Well, yeah, but
do you know?
I know Bournemouth have been though. They've been amazing this season, you know.
They have, but recently they haven't been that great, have they?
They should have been Spurs. 2-0 up against Spurs. They should have won that, shouldn't they? Really?
Yeah, but they didn't. Do you know what I mean? I think you'll turn them over. I think it's going to be 2-0. Well, mate, no, actually, I revised that 2-1 because you've got the Flecken factor has got to be taken into consideration.
Yeah, it's always got to think about him, innit? And go, fuck it.
He's got to go, mate. When what are you hearing? Are you hearing rumours, or have you seen stuff about them getting a new goalkeeper?
Unfortunately, not. Yeah, I'm hoping though. I'm hoping it might be his last season. I hope, but I hope he don't get another season. I want somebody else in goal. I really do. Get Kelleher. Buy him. Come on, Brentford. But yeah, I wish I was as confident as you, Warren, with this one. I really do, but I'm not. And
part of it is what I saw in that game at Leicester. Like, honestly, the ferocity of your attacks in that game was really impressive. And
yeah, we're talking about Leicester, not
I think that you would cause problems for any team in the Premier League. The way that you attacked like Leicester, it was frightening. Like I wouldn't want to face it, because I just think they're difficult to contain. Do you know? Going forward, you're a menace. The problem you've got is the defence. Like Aaron Hickey's coming back, and like if you get replaced Flecken with a top draw goalkeeper, mate, I'll be shocked if you don't finish in the top 6.
Yeah. But that's a way off, isn't it? I think at the moment, unfortunately.
Yeah. Well, is it though? I mean, it's not. Do you know what I mean? You've got. I don't see why they couldn't attract a top draw goalkeeper. I really don't.
I don't either, but I don't know what's going on, mate. I ain't got a clue.
No.
Why are we sticking with this clowning goal? I don't know. I just don't know. But yeah, I'm sorry, Warren. I'm going to go Bournemouth to win. I think they're going to do it.
But,
I just, you know.
When was the last time you actually lost an away game, Steve?
Oh God, last year sometime. Yeah, I think because we were really shit away, weren't we? At one stage, you couldn't win away at all, and then we was on that form, and now we can't win at home basically either. And you know, the away form's better than the home form, but I don't know though. I just think Bournemouth are a really good team. I just feel this could be, you know, it could be half a defeat away, and
maybe it'll be a draw then, Steve. Because the thing is, the confidence in the Brentford squad when they're going away must be sky high. Because
but why is
You're
it?
saying it's like 2-3 months since you lost away from home. That's a fucking long time to be unbeaten for.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? So they're going to be confident. Maybe it'll end up being a draw.
I hope so, but I don't think. I mean, last time we beat them 3-2 at home at our ground. That was the last time. We was actually winning at home, scoring goals at home, and beating these teams, like conceding. But you know, it's a bit different now. But I don't know. I just feel we could lose this, and then, I mean, then we'll be back at home again. Probably we'll probably have another home after the internationals. So I don't know. I don't know, Warren. I wish we'd win it. I'm, you know, deep down, I want us to win. But I've got a feeling here, I think it's going to be, I'm going to go 3-1 Bournemouth. I don't like saying it, but just somehow I've got this feeling we're going to lose this one. So 3-1 Bournemouth. I hate saying it, but, you know.
Yeah, I know.
That's how I feel. But I hope it's different. I go against that. It goes against that, and it goes 3-1 Brentford, but I doubt it. Right, let's move on to Sunday. And Arsenal-Chelsea, Warren. Oh, tasty one.
I'm going for a 1-1 draw with that one. We got no attacking threat whatsoever. But somehow they were shithoused away to getting a goal somewhere or other. But Chelsea will score, definitely. But our our attack is shocking. It really is. Like, there's no attacking threat. There's no creativity. And, like, you've heard me go on ad infinitum about the amount of money that's been wasted by this club in transfers and whatnot.
Yeah.
I just can't see anything other than a low-scoring game. I think it'll be really boring, and it will either be like 1-1 or a 0-0, something like that, or Chelsea will win it.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know, I just can't see Arsenal going in, turning in, and like winning 2 or 3. I just can't see it happening because I don't know where the goals are coming from.
No.
You've got a defensive midfield player playing up front. Last night we had a left back playing left wing. I mean, what the fuck is going on?
Yeah.
It's shambles, mate.
Yeah. Was that Calafiori when it was he playing the left wing or whatever?
No, it's Kieran Tierney.
Oh, Tierney.
He's playing left wing.
Stupid.
It's ridiculous. The man's a left back. In my opinion, he's the best fucking left back in the world.
He is.
What I mean? And like he can't get a game, and like now he's sticking him out left wing. I just think, what are you doing? This manager, mate, I'm telling you, he's absolutely clueless.
Yep.
He's like frighteningly clueless, and the amount of money this guy wastes.
Yeah, he's stubborn as well.
He's stubborn. He's arrogant. He's got no idea how to talk to people. It's just fucking shocking. It really is. Yeah. So your big rivals, Fulham, mate.
Well, I'm going 1-1, by the way, for your one, Arsenal and Chelsea. 1-1.
Oh, there you go. Fair play, mate. I agree with you.
Fulham and Spurs, yeah. Look, rivals, Fulham and all that, yeah. I'd like to see Fulham do. I think they could do Spurs here, you know.
I think they can. Definitely. They're a good, strong side. I'm going 2-0 Fulham.
I'm going to go 3-1 Fulham here. You might see the third goal against the old Spuds, eh? Yeah. 3-1. Yeah. Right, and Leicester, Man United. Any shock? Van Nistelrooy going back to Man United? Well, albeit at home.
I heard that they're looking at other managers, Leicester, already. But I think United will win this 2-0, mate. Like, it'll be comfortable. Let that Leicester team, mate. No, they're going. They're gone, mate. Like, the bottom three, as it is now, will be the ones that will be the bottom three at the end of the season.
Oh, for sure, yeah. 100%.
Terrible. Huh?
100%, mate. Definitely. That top three, that three that came up, back down, yeah.
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 Damn it, it's quite worrying that there seems to be such a gap between the Premier League and the Championship. Like, teams come up, they can't stay up, even though, like, especially the one that comes through the playoff, they get near almost £100 million in, like, for winning that playoff final. And yet they still can't manage to stay in the Premier League. It's massive concern for me.
Yeah. Yeah, so what score are you going for here, Warren?
2-0 United.
2-0 United. I'm going to go for
1. I don't like United at all. I can't stand them.
Yeah, you're waiting for my prediction, Darren. I'm actually going to go for you, mate, to win United, yeah? So 3-1.
Was he a United fan?
He's a United fan, yeah. Yeah, 3-1 United. That'd make you happy, wouldn't it, Darren?
Yeah, I'm going for United to win as well because Leicester are terrible.
Yeah, right. Let's go to, of course, the Carabao Cup, but Liverpool United, Newcastle. What do you think of that? I think that's the only game, the last game. Carabao
3-1
Cup.
Liverpool.
You don't think Newcastle could produce an upset there?
No. I think Liverpool will be angry after what happened against PSG. And they'll be looking to put the record straight.
Yeah. Yeah, probably. Yeah, I'll go Liverpool. I think Salah could turn up again as well. But you got Isak as well for Newcastle. I'm going to go 2-1 Liverpool there. Be a little closer.
Now, the big game of the weekend we haven't talked about yet, mate.
Hold on.
Sunday at 12:30 in Glasgow. The Glasgow Derby. Celtic Rangers.
Sorry, yeah. Oh, that one. Yeah. Of course, yeah. Sorry.
4-0 Celtic.
Yeah.
We are going to fucking rip them to shreds, mate. I'm telling you.
Yeah, I'm going to go with you lot as well to win, but I'm going to go 3-1. So, yeah.
I just think that they're a fucking shambles. When it comes to league, domestic football, they are a mess, mate. I'm telling you. And we'll have too much for them. And I'll be loving it.
Yeah, that's about it anyway. But yeah, I think you're going to win. Beat Rangers, as you say. Definitely. Flavin, being a Sunderland fan, I hope Liverpool batter them, and fingers crossed for a Celtic win as well.
Yeah, come on, Kev, good boy.
You know it makes sense, Rodney. Yeah, brilliant, man. But yeah, it's been a great stream again. It's gone on a bit longer than I thought, about 2 hours something again. But no, it's great. It's great, mate. And obviously, thanks to you and of course Manny, but everyone in the live chat as well. Darren, Steve, Stepsy, and who else did we have in? Luca, Delboy, of course. Big up, Delboy. What's the crack? What's the Dean story? Yeah, thanks for coming in, bro. Brilliant.
Thanks for having me on, mate. It's brilliant. Thank you. Again.
Yeah, when I'm on here, Mr. B and Warren, be kind to me. Not so, yeah. Yeah, I know, mate. Because you support United, mate. It's you know.
Yeah, we will do. You won't be too harsh on you, mate.
Yeah, it's not your fault, is it? No. You support them, but no.
Exactly.
No, but you got to support your local team, mate. So I mean, actually, a lot of people don't support their local team, though, do they? They're not local to them.
I remember my dad used to always say that to me when I was a kid. You got to support your local.
Mm.
And what's his face used to say it as well, Johnny Lydon. You ever heard him talking about Arsenal, Johnny Lydon?
Oh, yeah.
Because he comes from, he grew up right near Highbury, like literally like walking distance. He lived on this big estate there, and he always says you've got to support your local. He said going in the North Bank back in the day for him was like going like seeing all his neighbours. He'd see all his neighbours in there.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Oh, that made me laugh. Do you remember when he was on I'm a Celebrity? Do you remember that when he done that show?
Jordan.
Yeah.
I'm not going to say what he was saying, but he was going on about Jordan, and oh my God, he destroyed her.
Yeah, I know, yeah. You can't have 2 billion United fans being local, yeah. Okay.
It was quite funny for me as well when he was going on that clip that I've got on my that I've got of him walking up towards the Emirates Stadium and like slating the owners and going on about our new badge and whatnot. I don't know if you've ever seen it, Steve, have you?
I might not have seen that, no.
Yeah, when he's going, fucking things that bloody plastic crap from Italy. the cannon's pointing the wrong way.
Yeah.
I grew up supporting this, and you give me that.
Yeah.
You've let me down, you fucking bastards.
Yeah, you can never stop saying what he wanted, isn't it? He'd never stop saying what he wants, isn't it? He's always honest, that guy, isn't he? So
yeah, 100%. Like, do you know what I mean? That's the whole ethos of the punk movement. It's like it has to be completely honest, otherwise you're in trouble. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. Was it Malcolm McLaren started that, didn't he? Was it Malcolm McLaren started all the punk thing?
I fucking hates Malcolm McLaren.
Oh, right. So you don't like him?
He can't stand him. The two of them had a massive fallout.
Oh, yeah.
Like, there was that infamous incident when they did the concert on the Thames in the Jubilee year, right, on the boat, and the police invaded the boat and tried to stop the concert and whatnot. And they were like, they didn't know who was who and whatnot. And they said to him, "Where's that John Lydon?" And John Lydon just pointed to Malcolm McLaren. And they arrested Malcolm McLaren because they thought it was John Lydon. Brilliant. I love it.
and he got blamed for being they thought it was him.
This brilliant thing on YouTube of him. And it's John Lydon's tour of London. And he goes on this open top bus tour around London and stops off at different places. There's this clip of him and he's talking at the top of the bus to this bloke working on a building site. After they drive off, he goes, "Yeah, that's what it's all about." He said, "Talking to proper people."
Oh, man. He's an old one off, isn't he? That John Lydon.
Brilliant. I love him. I absolutely love him. Because he just don't care what he says. He just says what he thinks. And if it upsets people, well, fuck them.
Or as he would say, tough titty, he'd say, wouldn't he?
Exactly. I remember him seeing him on that fantasy football, right? And he was going on about the England team.
Oh, yeah.
Because trouble with England, he says, there's too much fucking Tottenham influence for my liking.
Arsenal. I love Arsenal playing.
Exactly. Brilliant. I loved it.
Yeah.
That was when I think that was at the time when Glenn Hoddle was managing it. Too much Tottenham influence. But he's right. Tottenham are serial losers. That's part of the problem. They've got too much like losing mentality. Do you know what I mean?
I remember David Baddiel said something about him, didn't he? He go, do you want a slap? He goes, do you want a smack? Or whatever he said, didn't he, to him?
He's just a proper geezer. Do you know what I mean? He's just like an old school proper geezer. Do you know, he's one of the ones that would not be accepted inside the new ground at the Emirates. So, like, these sort of fan that they don't want.
Yeah, I know. But I think you should have them. You should have somebody like that.
100%. He's proper Arsenal, mate. Do you know what I mean? Like, grew up really close to the ground, die-hard fan, been a supporter like me since he was about 5. Do you know what I mean? It's like, you know, it's all wrong, mate. It pisses me off to be honest, seeing the way the club's going.
Yeah, I don't blame you.
Football in general, mate, not just Arsenal, but in general, it's just, it ain't the same anymore. It's not, and it's wrong.
Yeah,
it's gone backwards.
Yeah, it is. It has, mate. Unfortunately, but yeah. Anyway, so where can we find you, Warren? Where are you, mate?
So you can find me on Warren's Team Talk on Instagram and on Blue Sky, on X, Threads. I think that's about it. Facebook. And you can also find me on YouTube. I've got a YouTube channel. I haven't uploaded anything for a few weeks. I will be uploading stuff again soon. But it's just a lot I need to sort out first. Hopefully soon I'll be uploading again. But yeah, thanks ever so much for letting me come up, Mr. B. I've had an absolute blast. As I always do when I come on your channel. It's a pleasure to be on there, mate. So thank you. And please, everyone, make sure you subscribe to Mr. B. Get this motoring and, like, you know, sub to him and put likes on his videos. And also, if you're a cricket fan, make sure you subscribe to his cricket channel, which is Mr. B. Come
on, it's coming.
Mr. B Chats England Cricket. It's brilliant.
Down there. See it?
No, it's brilliant. Thank you, Darren.
Yeah, cheers, Darren and Kev. Yeah, thanks for that, bro. Brilliant. Thanks for all you lot coming in and supporting me as usual.
Mate. That's what I've got to say. Kev, up the Mackhams.
Yeah, they're probably going to come up, aren't they, Sunderland? I think.
Well, maybe, yeah. Who's top at the minute? Is it
Leeds, isn't it? Is it Leeds?
Yeah, Leeds. So we'll see. Because there's 2 come up automatic and 1 in the playoffs, isn't it?
Yeah.
It'd be good to see like 3 real old school clubs come up. Like, you know, Leeds, Sunderland. I'd like to see Sheffield Wednesday come up as well, to be honest.
I think Sheffield United are up there again, aren't they, as well?
Yeah, so. I think they are. But one of them too, the Sheffield clubs, you know, like proper old school clubs.
Yeah, you're right there, Darren. Yeah, anyone but Leeds scum. Yeah.
Leeds scum. Yeah, well, their fans are a bit notorious, aren't they?
Yeah, nutters, mate. But what about when they was a team, though? They used to kick the shit out of you, the team, innit it? Oh, 70s and that.
Well, the fans weren't much different either. I remember when I was over in Germany in '88, I saw this banner, right? Like it's St George's Cross, and it said Leeds United, these colours don't run. Do you know what I mean? That says it all. They were nutters, mate. That fucking real hardcore nutter fans.
Yeah, for sure, mate, for sure. But yeah, mate, it's been a great show. And as I say, follow me on Insta at Mr. B for Life 182 down there on the ticker. Subscribe to Mr. B Hive Football Chat and Mr. B Chats England Cricket. Keep subbing, smashing the likes, everything, if you can. Brilliant. Got plenty more to come. I've got the preview for the Bees game. Hopefully I'll get hold of the lads from up the cherries in all departments and we can do a preview stream for that. If not, I'll do one on my own, probably, so it won't matter, but I'll do it. But talk about how they're going to beat us, probably. But anyway, I know you think the other way, Warren, but I still think they're going to beat us. But anyway, we won't get top 2 now, but we will have a good chance in the playoffs. Good luck to Sunderland. Yeah.
Yeah, come on, the Mackhams.
Yeah, up the Mackhams. Yeah. Let's hope you do it. But yeah, what else have I got coming up? Yeah, basically that preview. I've got the buzz again next week, obviously early next week. And this one again next week, doing two a week now, 2 in a row. So, keep watching, guys. It's I'm putting out a lot of content at the moment. So, keep it going. And that'd be great. But I'm going to go and have some nosh, actually, because I'm quite hungry now. So, thank Marvin. So, we're out of here, guys. We are bouncing. Cheers, everyone. Thanks. Bye.
Thanks for watching, everyone. Take care.